Copy of God's Word and turning with me to our passage for this morning, back to the letter of James, the Epistle of James, chapter 4. In our verses this morning, James 4, 6 through 12. Last Lord's Day, we looked at verses 1 through 6 of the same chapter. And in those verses, we saw James's exhortation as Christians, as disciples of Jesus Christ, we are called to be friends with God. And this isn't meant to be a casual friendship. This isn't meant to be a here and there friendship. James tells us very specifically, very clearly, that we need this friendship. We need to pursue that friendship. We need to pursue that relationship with God. And James puts it in very stark terms. And what he says is, if you are not friends with God, if you're not pursuing that relationship, if you're not investing in a relationship, then you will be friends with the world. And James says, if you're friends with the world, then you are enemies of God. So there's only two categories we can fit into. There's only two camps that we can be a part of. Either we're friends with God or we are enemies of God. Jesus said the same. You are either with God and for God, or you are against Him. So we have this responsibility, this need to pursue this relationship with God. Now, James is talking about this in the sense of spiritual leadership and obedience. So in this, we're thankful that in God's grace, He has given us good and godly friends who encourage us in the faith. What James is doing here is he's putting a question before us of who it is you are choosing.